to lose that convincingly to EU opposition of NIP, which has obviously got great names on the team, but has not really made waves internationally yet, that NIP team. We'll see if they can at Astana, PGL Astana. But, you know, that's probably a result you'll look back on and say, that's not the best sign.
Yeah. You would have wanted a bit more, like, just to make it a little bit more competitive, I reckon. Either way, let's see how competitive this particular matchup is going to be. Fluxo against Sharks here in the upper bracket ESL Challenger League. Season 49 South America. In the contest for a single spot at Pro League. It's going to be Fluxo start off on the T side. Gafolo just peppers the smoke, doesn't find anything in Fluxo. Well, they're applying a lot of pressure into the save bomb side.
Guardian needs to stay alive. He's been gooshed and taken down by Kai. Nice entries coming in here for Fluxo. Also, just a reminder as well that Zevi is back on the server. He couldn't play yesterday, and he's back today, and already he's delivering. Oh, it's 3 kills for Zevi. And he's going to finally get taken down by Doc. We're covered into a 1v1. It's Peria waiting behind the donut smoke for all this time. Doc is actually the player who's picked up the defuse kit now. So he can afford to play as much time as he really wants if the bomb plant does come through. He's now worried about Peria flanking all the way from behind, but Peria doesn't mess about, does he? P250, instant tap, sees his victim, takes him down.
Oh, Doc was so certain that Peria was going to be coming through from the big flank. He just tunnel visions in that direction. He does still kind of smartly try and hug the wall to keep himself covered from the bomb side, but Peria does eventually catch a line of sight. And it wasn't a very easy shot either. We know how difficult it can be to shoot people in the back of the head sometimes with a pistol, but Peria connects. Like you say, welcome to the server, Zevi. We missed him yesterday. Fluxo didn't really. It was still fine without him, you know, playing against Yuara. But now against Sharks, a better opponent at a higher level, you want your AWP up.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more result I wanted to mention that's, I feel like, vaguely relevant as well, because it's a LAN result, is the fact that Imperial played Sharks in the Fire League Buenos Aires a couple of days ago, about 5 days ago. Imperial won that event. That qualified them for the Rubek Cup at the end of the year. And they beat Sharks in the semi-final. Sharks got absolutely destroyed, 13-6, 13-3. So that's a pretty important result to talk about, I feel like. Also, I just want to mention about that event. That was the event that you saw go viral on social media because they were playing in a train station. Pretty insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. I wonder if those results had any impact on the fact that they decided to bench Nyx, Trav. The fact that they lost at these LAN events, you know, didn't really show the form or the level they would have wanted to. Because, of course, they have benched Nyx in favor of bringing a new Orpa Angelo into the mix. Of course, they can't play with Angelo tonight because of the roster lock rules. They have to use Kenz, who's from their academy team. Which is unfortunate, you know, considering how much is on the line here, Trav. You've got to kind of question the timing to make this roster change with how much is on the line here to try and qualify for Pro League. It's a risky decision, man. Was it worth it? I mean, I guess they must feel that way, right? They must feel that this improves their chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we spoke about, right, they do have a really like solid core that understands each other with Doc, Koala, and Gafolo, and I think RDN as well, to be fair to him. Oh, Kenz should have gotten that kill on cut. That's so unfortunate. Saved by Kai through the smoke. They're going to try and re-aggress for good reason, knowing that's probably going to be a free kill. And Gafolo's done amazing work. That's a really solid second on toward Kaido as well. Actually chooses to re-aggress even further, but they're just don't seem warmed up yet with their individual form. Any other day, making those moves would work out for an advantage, but it's a disadvantage now for Koala to work with 1v2.
Yeah, wave after wave after wave of aggression there from Sharks. Eventually does work out against them, and Fluxo, well, they're just going to hang around. They're just going to post and wait and see, is there yet another wave here? Or is it finally over? Is the onslaught over? And now we try to take our space. Koala just going back and forth. He's a strong anchor player, so he's been in these 1vx situations multiple times before. It's familiar territory for the anchor, because what often happens is your teammates go down on the other side of the map. They trade their way as they go down, and then you get left in a 1v1, 1v2. So I'm in the clutch, and he's going to commit in towards this B-bomb site right now. Tucked in towards long. He's fully committed. How does he avoid getting traded? The first frag could be free. He's now been spotted the double swing. And that's going to be Semem Buckin. Pop off, Zevi. Love the name, mate.
You know what that's a reference to, don't you?
I actually don't, Trav. I actually don't.
Okay.
Is it like an
Let me
anime?
just absolutely double check this. Make sure I'm
It's probably an anime.
100% right. That is Kiyosuke's alternate, like a play on Kiyosuke's alternate ID. On Face It, I think Kiyosuke was called Semen Back In, like CEMEN underscore back in, for a long, long time, and maybe still is. And that's Zevi's play on the name, I think.
Okay, love the lore, love the knowledge there.
Thank you.
And I mean, it's crazy that Kiyosuke has that like cultural impact already. That people are just taking this 18-year-old Face It's name and using it in these officials. Either way, this is going to be a pretty good start here for Fluxo and their map pick, Trav. It's been some convincing rounds that they've won so far. Even the way they worked as a team in that previous round, getting the necessary trades and just combining the 2v1, not leaving anything to chance, not leaving themselves isolated either. You can just see that they've come into this, warmed up, and they're looking good. And it's just highlights the point you made about how Sharks are looking a little bit rough around the edges from the get-go.
I think that's always going to be a kill for Quara there. It's good positioning toward Mills. And I think that's the thing with Fluxo right now. They just seem to have that extra 10%. They seem to have unlocked something about their style and their play that is making some of these matches be a lot more comfortable. And often I have like criticized South American Counter-Strike for being a bit more quantity over quality. There's a lot of teams that just aren't really there yet, right? I think Fluxo are one of those teams made certain by the fact they made the major, obviously, but I think they're one of those teams that are actually getting there, and that's what makes me hopeful, because they've got that talent, right? They've got Pyria, they've got Kai playing a lot better than he was on his Furious stint. They've got Zevi, who we've loved for ages. There's something about them.
You know what I love about this team is how, of course, Zevi was in Fluxo for a while. He was the one player that they retained. They then brought Arts into the mix. And I thought, yeah, cool, Zevi, I'd love to play with you. I saw how good you were on Pain. I know what a talent you are. Then Kai gets discarded from Furia. Fluxo said, great, mate. You come over here. We've got space for you. And Kai has been incredible. I mean, we've seen fantastic highs from Kai here on this Fluxo roster compared to what we saw in Furia. This is far better for his level, relatively speaking. Can allow him to gain the experience and then maybe one day make that step up to the top level of the game again. But right now, right here, this is where he belongs. And then you get Pyria, this crazy up-and-coming stud of a rifler, and that just gives Art a whole new extra dimension. And then he's got the youngster of Milton in the mix. Like, this roster's really been built from the ground up, and they've qualified for a major. It's a phenomenal success story for Fluxo.
Yeah, it's actually not the organization's first major either, right? So I think they've got previous of making it through to majors and getting stickers underneath.
Yeah, that's when
belts.
Zeus was the coach, right? Phelps,
yeah.
VSM would have been in that mix as well, I think. Was that Woody leading the team still?
Might have been, yeah. I'll double check that actually. See if I can make it. Yes, it was Blast Paris where they made the major, I'm pretty sure.
I just remember Mirage being the one map that they could play with Phelps to just run down middle into connector every round. Anyway, let me focus up here as Flux look to try and get themselves in towards the safe bomb site. They are down by a man right now, but Ken's is fairly low. Sharks do seem to know exactly what's going on here. They are rotating their pieces. Well, Fluxo have slowed things down a little bit, which means that Sharks actually have hesitated. 2 players top mid, 1 in Temple. They can't do anything about this plant. What are the post-plant positions going to look like here for Fluxo? It's going to be both players in Donut and 2 players coming through from middle. Kai's gotten 1. Zevi has info on the second. That one's free because of how low Ken's actually is. And now a 1v1. RDN doesn't have a kit. He has got a smoke grenade, though. He could use it. He's going to actually opt to drop it on the bomb itself and then tap the defuse to try and draw Zevi out. Zevi commits to the fight, and he's got the kill. That's a disastrous round for Sharks to lose because they had the advantage throughout.
Zevi, I felt like he had that under lock and key the whole time, though, right? The spray to win it in the end was a little bit whiffy, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like he made every single right move here. And you're right, Sharks do really good work to actually get the advantage early on, but then Zevi's maneuverability, getting back into a donut, realizing it's a free trade on that second player, then being able to play time in donuts, always so awkward for like IDNZ in that scenario, having to watch Zevi jiggle peek, jump back and forth. His only option was to put the smoke on the bomb, like you say, and try and lure him out to a proper fight. He got that proper fight, but just didn't hit the head. Simple as that.
Good moves being made by Fluxo in that round as well, rotating back into the A-bomb side, combining in Donut. Zevi looking solid in the clutch as well, like you say. Never really seemed like he was going to lose it. They have had some good openings in these rounds, have Sharks. They've been able to find opening kills. I mean, I think wasn't that a 5 versus 3 for a moment, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, for a split second, I believe.
And they will have the weapons here again, so let's see. Gonna have to get themselves on the board soon.
You were right, by the way. That Fluxo team that made Paris was Phelps, Woody, VSM, Nukowski history. So, spot on.
There we go. Yeah. I picked this team over quite comfortably, actually. I think Art clears Woody as an IGL. Zevi's a better AWPer than history. Either way, it is going to be a big push into the A-bomb side. Gafolo has the AWP in play because, well, they don't have Nyx in the team. Wasn't Nyx AWPing previously? I mean, I know Gafolo's been an AWPer in the past. I just think that they moved it on anyway. He's going to be getting the job done here. Off IGL, Koala playing around. The smoke grenade steps into Zevi's scope, maybe overplaying his hand a little bit. It's a 4v2, boys. Reel it in.
Yeah, and when Zevi's alive, you never know. Actually decides to drop the AWP for an AK, and that gives him a bit more maneuverability, but Ashley's going to take it back again, and he's found Gafolo anyway. Oh, my words. That's such an important one to take. Again, an advantage for Sharks is falling apart, and Kenz is left with an MP9 only. Zevi with another 3 kills, up to 11 and 1 already. Obviously didn't play yesterday, but didn't need him today, proving why he's here. And that's another easy, quick trade for Zevi. Quad kill, 12 and 1. Kai will go down, but you can always rely on Zevi. And he's been a favourite of ours for a very, very long time. Back in a major once again. I really hope that we see a sort of another version of Zevi, a Zevi 2.0, if you will.
How old is Zevi? I'm about to pull up his HLTV profile. Okay, 23 years old. So, I was
going to say guess, but
I know.
Yeah.
I actually was going to go 23, 24, to be honest with you. So I would have been within the ballpark. And it means that he's kind of, you know, by normal metrics, entering his prime, right? 24 years old is kind of the number people look at where you're generally probably going to be playing your best Counter-Strike. And I'm just really keen to see him on the top, the big stage once again, competing at the top level with the top dogs. Because he's such a fun AWPer to watch, man. He's got character, he's got charisma outside of the server and inside of the server. Like, he's one of those AWPers where I reckon if you knew you were watching a South American team and you took the nameplates off, you'd have a pretty good idea that you were watching Zevi AWP. Just with the way that he moves around the map, you know, quite flamboyant in his approach. He's got that flair about it. He's got that, like, classic Brazilian kind of flair, some attitude as well, you know, which I love about Zevi.
Yeah, he's a pretty good rifler as well, which I think is an important thing to mention.
Oh, yeah, that's true. For sure, absolutely. Which is what you need in CS2, right? Just with how scuffed the economy is, you got to contribute with the rifle.
Yeah, Sharks will be kicking themselves though. They've had 2 rounds where they've been in a really solid position and have found a way to chuck it. Zevi, star power, catching them off. Mid control for Fluxo in this one. Milton has got a possibility of pushing into red after this Molotov dissipates, and that'll be the right move to make.
Got some lore for you here, Trav. Zevi's played in 2 majors before his first major, 2021, with Sharks, funny enough.
Yeah.
And then his second major was that major in 2023, the Blast Paris major. He played with Pain. Now, first major, he drops a 0.94 over 5 maps. Second major, 0.88 over 9 maps with Pain. And of course, Pain at that point, remember that was like the Hard Zao, Zero. There were some like really cool names in that Pain team. So that was a bleak performance. So hopefully, this is going to be Zevi's major. That's the point I'm trying to get to here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I'm looking at the teams in stage 1 of the major right now, I'm definitely not picking them 0-3. Like, South American teams have often been the choice for teams to go 0-3 in these sort of stages of the majors. Hang on a second, Kai might just go down here. Oh, it actually does fake it and check the boost position, but Koala will drop into Pyria. There's a scout on the rotation here for Gafolo, but once again, Zevi's watching the right angle, and he sees the second player walk into red. Oh, he's looking so good right now, Zevi. Oh, we missed you yesterday. Fluxo didn't, but I did.
Yeah, we certainly did, man. I mean, Pyria gave us something, right? He also had a lot of flair within his AWPing approach, but still, Zevi is just so clean with it. Surely he does die here, though, right? Surely not, Gafolo. Even got a second bite at the cherry, still couldn't finish it off.
Feels
And now
bad.
they're going to be hunting him down. Zevi wants more. Zevi takes what Zevi wants. So much damage done, man. Gafolo trembling, littered with bullets. Door being closed in on him. Perio will finish off the job, and that is 7-0. Flawless so far for Fluxo.
Yes, if I was to like take a gauge of the current stage 1, of course, for the major, Bestia, Fluxo, NRG Namiga, Menace, Portland Vision, Tyloo, Chinggis Warriors, OG Imperial, Bet Boom Bait, FlyQuest Wildcard, Heroic Complexity. Probably picking Heroic 3-0, maybe, because their landform's been so good lately. Maybe I'll take a gamble on like a wild card or something like that. Go one that's a safe pick, one that's a gamble. 0-3, I have no idea, right? You could argue Chinggis Warriors, but they've actually had some good results on LAN. You could argue Bestia. Maybe you could talk about Fluxo, like I said, but I just feel like I can't pick Fluxo 0-3, even in a team list, of course, that's stacked as that with like tier 2 talent, because
Bro,
they've got this.
I'm sorry.
Another one.
Look at what Zevi is doing it all right now, man. He's boosted up. He's peeking into his opponent's AWP. And he's just found the kill. He's made it look so easy. That's round over. Zevi single-handedly just devastates the defense. First frag and then gets the second guy as well. Oh, man. I mean, let's talk a little bit more about Gafolo because he was traditionally an AWPer before.
Yes.
DRG used to be the IGL of this team, and he was in this team for a very long time. They then decided to bench DRG and kind of gave an indication that Sharks wanted to overhaul their approach and their identity within their roster, and we're just going to watch this play out while I do continue to make my points. And once DRG left the team, Gafolo actually took over the reins as IGL for the Sharks roster. He was AWP IGLing. His AWPing definitely took a substantial knock after he took on the responsibility of AWPing as well. Of IGLing as well. He then gave up that AWP, I think, when Nyx joined the team, and we saw some good moments from Nyx. I liked what I saw from him online, but then obviously you look at the results for those LAN events they played recently, and Nyx certainly was underwhelming. So they've brought in a new player, Angelo, but they can't play with him today. So Gafolo has now factory resetted back to default, Trav. He's AWPing again, but unfortunately hasn't been able to keep up with Zevi.
Yeah, he's factory defaulted, but not press the on button, I'm afraid.
That is an important part of the process.
Yeah. Art will deal with Doc, the aggression with the MP9s, you'd think would maybe work out for a trade there, but
yum,
Milton
yum.
is looking clean with it as well. And Fluxo have really turned up to play today. This is why they're so dangerous at the moment. The riflers are hitting their shots, Zevi's hitting absolutely everything in front of him, clutching with the rifle, winning deals with an AWP pretty much dry. And they've got full control of the map again, all the way through Red Room with 4 players, 4v2, looking for a 9-0 start here.
Not like Sharks have been without their chances and their opportunities in this map so far. They've had opening kills, they've had advantages. Oh, Kai's just been left in Red Room, posted on middle, controlling it. They now know where the last player is as well with the 5-7. Koala going to go for a big wide swing. Peria will be the one to put him to death. And there is that 9-0 scoreline you were referencing. Sharks, call a pause, do whatever you can, push the panic button, emergency button, red lights, alarms blaring, Trav, because they're on the brink of losing this map.
Do you have a particular alarm of choice to wake you up? Like a tune?
No.
Just a default one?
I don't. Okay. Yeah, standard protocol.
Okay.
Yourself, do you go for something different?
No.
It's like bird sounds maybe?
No,
or...
that like default iOS one that like is like the meme for, you know, when you wake up and you had an amazing dream or whatever, you know, that one that's always used in all those meme videos. Oh my goodness. I think that one is
that helps.
That one is pretty good because it affects your hearing in a way that will wake you up, you know. So
it's just ingrained in your brain that that's alarm and it means wake up, start of the day.
Exactly.
It's just that association, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bit of a fortunate opening 2 kills, maybe 1 kill at least for Sharks there. It was pretty much of a blind run across Jaguar that got the opening for Doc. But they've got a 5v3 again. Surely, Molotov has not spread properly in toward the cubby in mid. And Mills, he could just, I'm going to say, maybe he could just bypass it. You know, there's a player inside of that. There are 2 players looking to face from red now. Surely they take him down, and they absolutely do. Fluxo a little bit disconnected on this one after losing those opening 2 kills. This one's not looking as good. But you never know. Art won more in the next game. This player is still there, by the way. If he wins this duel in Red Room, it's a bit scary, and it's still scary because it's Pyria 1v2, and anything feels possible for Fluxo in this game so far.
Interesting pathing here for Peria, going back around through and taking him a little bit longer to actually get into the A bomb site. Now, Gafolo, he's the one who has an AWP right now, and he's sweeping. And he may be able to get on the angle in time. Peria doesn't have a smoke grenade to actually block Gafolo off, but Gafolo's traded his gun. He's got a rifle now. I'm sure he would have much preferred the AWP because it's just leveled out the playing field. This has given Peria a pretty good chance. Gafolo, oh man, he misses his opportunity on the angle. Peria's now going to commit to the bomb plant. Player coming up from Donut, pressure coming through from CT. Peria gets the first, but the timing is perfect from Doc, and Sharks are on the board.
Spooky gave Pyria a chance there. And another round where they had a comfortable 5v3. Poor, was it Ardienzo in mid? I can't remember. But the guy that was in the cubby in mid, he was in a whole bloody round, dude. Just stuck in that smoke in the corner, like just saying, listen, please help me, please peek from red. They did. It worked out just overall in the end. You'd think that round would be a lot more comfortable than a 1v1. But Doc will win it. He'll save the AWP for his team. And finally they're off the mark. But 3 is the maximum they can really make happen, and that does not feel like enough. It was, there we go, it was Ardienzo out mid.
Okay, can Sharks double up their round count? It is a good trade initially, and there's more where that came from. There's a lot of goodness. It's just outright towards middle. Kai will get in on the act as well. Ken's pushing down the ramp, will lose his life, but it's 2v2 in the first 20 seconds of this round.
Yeah, that's like one of those Inferno rounds. We have CTs pushing down mid and down banana, and it just ends in a massive scuffle. Inferno and Ancient Mid, Inferno Banana and Ancient Mid do often have a couple of similarities like that with how much of the utility is used early round. And Fluxo not waiting for the end of this smoke, to be fair to them, just going straight through it. They're going to try and get the bomb planted pretty quickly too. That's going to make things even more awkward for Sharks here, because it's an AWP on a retake. You've got an AK and you've got a smoke available for Doc here. They've both got kits. That's the most important thing, I would say. But Zevi, you know what he can do. He's now the only one left. Can he deliver once again? The answer's no. I tried to set him up, but he didn't consider Kane whatsoever. And Gafolo gets a freebie.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of awkward positioning there, honestly, for Zevi in the post plants. I don't know why he's decided to play behind the pillar with his AWP and he hasn't gone back down ramp to play with his teammates, or it just felt weird. Anyway, Sharks will take it. They are trying to have a bit of a resurgence here. Maybe resurgence is certainly too strong of a word, but they are looking to fight their way back. Double up their round count, 9-3. Could that give them a bit of a fighting chance here?
Oh my goodness, what's going on here? They were setting up the run boost. They were setting up the run boost to get one player over toward the shelf. He's got his back turned completely to mid, and Zevi just says, thank you very much. That kills mine. And the scuffle goes Fluxo's way this time. They've got a 3v2. There's a rotation already in place for Gafolo, but they're just so ready for him. It's Ken's 1 versus 3. He's trying to make one of the AKs in mid, but even though he's got a flash and a kit, it's going to be so hard to make your way back in. He's actually choosing the big flank as well. There's a long way to go. At some point, the internal clock, 4 mils in, will tick over, and he'll consider it to himself, oh, flank? I like this from Ken.
Hang on.
Keeping it going for a second, though. Oh, Milton's not considering it whatsoever. That's very odd. I would think he would, but he's not. There's a quick kill, but unfortunately he's not been able to find a second for free, so he should just peek into a crossfire. That's exactly what happens. Pyria gets his 12th of the half, and that is very good work from Fluxo. We'll see if they can close out map 1 in a few minutes. Fluxo feeling themselves at the moment. They're looking so clean so far this evening. Sharks have not known what has hit them, I'm afraid. Zevi is 17-4, Period 12-6. I'm just picking out the top fraggers because they are the top fraggers. The whole team has been looking really solid tonight.
Oh, certainly. It's been a very well-rounded performance from Fluxo, but they got to finish off the job here. Ken will finish off that frag. How is he still alive? Eventually he goes down, but he's bought so much time. And that time has been taken by Sharks as they just streamline straight into this A bomb side. Kai is low, but he will still be able to find one. Art looking to force his way back through Donut super aggressively. Perio will follow suit, and he does avenge his captain. But it's still Sharks who feel like they're in control here because of how low Kai is. They've also been the ones kind of trading their way through this round. And now they're going to shift off of this A bomb site and try and make their way through to B. And Kai's kind of gotten ahead of this. So he's going to be rotating back around. I think Sharks win the foot race, but they may not expect Kai coming through from Cave.
Thing is, it's planted safe from Cave, and RDN is keeping an eye on it. Kai is not exactly healthy either, is he? So it's very hard to work your way back in here, and that's a goosh on Period too. This is now very difficult on the low HP. There's the damage. Period actually does find one more with the Glock picked up, but he's got to somehow fake the bomb on 1 HP and get the kill instantly on a full health RDN from this range as well. Don't see that being a possibility, and there we go. 1 bullet is hit, and 1 bullet gets the job done. Sharks get the non-negotiable pistol round.
I mean, it was always supposed to be their pistol with the way that it started. It gets a little bit scary there at one point. I mean, this was the opening, and then threw Donut onto A. Not a huge amount of resistance. Trades were constantly favoring them as well. Nearly slips away, but RDN will be able to lock it in. Force buy in response from Fluxo. They get a lot of kills, so needs to get a little bit of extra money here added to their cause for the Force. And Sharks looking to future-proof their investments as well. 3 Galils and 2 AKs. Means that they're fairly light on util, but all the firepower in the world.
Likely decisions here for Fluxo, getting Zevi boosted up with the M4. There's one player you'd want there, it would be him. Try and get an early pick and fall back. Collar is checking his close left properly, but just loses the duel straight up to Art's MP9. And there's one man who I trust to get an MP9 kill in that sort of situation. It's Art, I feel.
True, yeah. This is his gun, man. MP9 is 3 characters, and so is Art's name. Coincidence? I think not.
I like that.
I'm onto something,
I mean,
Trav.
it's tenuous, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah, there's literally no parallels at all, but I forced it, so here we are. Anyway, Force for Fluxo could find success. Look at how deep they are in towards Red Room right now. Peria's having a look. He's got the info, but there's a lot of pressure with these 3. Zevi does the M4. Only good for 1, though. Peria can't uphold his end of the bargain. He's being crunched on now. And he's still going to be able to find a frag. He's going to stay alive as well. Peria, that's ridiculous.
He's done so much damage, dude. They now know where Gofolo is. They're going to try and pinch him from each side. MP9's in play. Kai gets the kill. Art would have been behind him to help anyway on that left side of the site. Sharks just walk into the duels and lose them all pretty much. Peria getting that 1 kill. He was more stuck than a stuck thing there, with 1 player coming from ramp and 2 coming from CT. He should have been dead every single day of the week, but gets away with murder, quite literally.
Yeah, and the fact that he does get away with that murder by killing an opponent and then staying alive is what actually tips the scales in Fluxo's favor. Really good work there from Fluxo, and Sharks, well, they have to be kicking themselves if they aren't, because that's just a disastrous way for them to follow up after winning the pistol. Now Force Bar of their own, just all grouped up at the bottom of ramp right now. They have a single flashbang to aid their cause and trying to get into the safe bomb site. They've just caught a grenade as well. Oh my goodness. So much damage.
Good positioning for Fluxo. If Sharks did want to go for a push hit, actually they're going to pounce now on this time by the looks of things. Playing the smoke fade. Glock about to run in with the opportunity. Sorry, about to run in with the Tech 9s. And now Piria gets his 1. That's a good smoke in toward Jag there to keep Mills in pretty safe. And Art getting 2 with the recovered Galil is going to make this one a lot more comfortable. And secure that 12. Bombs dropped from the side. RDN is dead to Piria. M4 gets 2 from him. He's up to 18 alongside Zevi now. Zevi was 16 and 1 at one point, don't forget. So, Barrier's definitely caught up.
I mean, that was just toothless. That was made to look way too easy there, honestly, for Fluxo, just picking Sharks off one by one. I mean, there was a player who was cave, but he couldn't do anything because of the smoke that had been thrown by Fluxo, so maybe Sharks had to wait for that smoke to dissipate so he could combine with them, try and do something with all the pressure being mounted up ramp at the same time. And now it is a helpless force coming through for Sharks, and this really does beg the question for me for the timing of the roster move, the change. Like, why was their hand forced? Like, why did they have to make the change right before their playoffs run began here, trying to get themselves a spot at Pro League? Was it really that worth it? Because it doesn't look like it right now. I remember the odds, the bookies' odds, when the game first was put on HLTV was 50-50. Anyway, big push into the speed bomb site. It's going to fall flat on its face, and Fluxo on course to win map 1.
Yeah, Fluxo keeping up their form by the looks of things here. Art's got himself 3 kills, and knowing him at 12-3 up, he'd probably look for more. And he does. He will go down, but it doesn't matter. Zevi will finish it off, and that feels right. It's a stunning performance from Zevi and the entire Fluxo team. A very, very comfortable map 1, and one that I think as well, like, they deserve a lot of credit for. Like, Sharks were below par, that a shadow of a doubt, but it's very obvious. So that is the hope for Sharks in this one, but obviously now it's really a really important match in playoffs, and it's in the middle of a BO3 rather than a BO1, the back-to-back BO1 format. I think the result could be flipped.
Yeah, and also we kind of have to keep in mind what transpired on the map before this leading into Nuke. Also, Nyx top fragged when Sharks beat Fluxo on this map not too long ago. They don't have Nyx in the server, so they're going to have to do it without him. As we do get into the game, of course, Fluxo gets to choose which side they start on. It's going to be the defensive half where they find themselves. And Art, this is pretty damn aggressive. I guess living up to the style we've come to expect from him. It's going to cost him his life early on. There is a player in the venture. Zevi's here with his knife fight. He's missed the stab, though. He will be able to find the right click, but it's not the kill.
It's actually so unusual to see a T player dropping into an event like that, and the CT player not getting the right-click knife. Usually they do, but I tell you who's delivering. Once again, it's Zevi. Oh, my word. Quad kill, starting where he left off on Ancient. Oh, my word. What are you supposed to do about that?
I mean, just type NS in chat, I guess. I don't know. That is disastrous here for Sharks and incredible for Fluxo. Zevi may have just saved the day. The job's not done yet. I think Koala was the player that he did tag with the knife in Ven earlier on in the round. Could it come back to haunt him that he wasn't able to finish off this kill? 1v2 though for Koala, taking his time, edging his way back into B, but Zevi and Milzen are back-to-back right now, ensuring there's no way for them to get isolated in these duels. Koala looking to still try and scoop up the C4. Zevi's going to go back looking for it, and he will spot Koala out. He's done even more damage. Oh, Koala's on 3 health. He has 2 opponents. This should be impossible for him. Still been locked out of the bomb site. 17 seconds on the clock, time ticking away.
Wow.
And eventually Zevi will swing out and lock in the ace.
Beautiful work from Zevi, man. And yeah, the right click did do the 55 damage, right? And immediately he gets back into position toward double and just deletes every single one of them. Goodness gracious. He's smurfing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what a way for him to shift from Ancient into Nuke as well, where he looked so incredibly good on the previous map. And look at the reward for him, Trav. It's the AWP against 5 Glocks. I mean, not ideal. It's more about looking forward to the future. Not a great gun to have in this instance, though. He's just relying on his teammates to get the job done against the pistols, and surely that should be easy.
Comfort. Art not even buying up anything in that one. Classic. Seen him do that multiple times over the years. Drop the MP9 to a teammate, buy up an M4, and already the Zevi AWP is out. And that's
yeah, he
dangerous.
had it in the previous round.
yeah, exactly, right? Like, that's that shows how confident they are. When you get all 5 in the pistol, even though you know you're probably against an eco and there's no plant,
yeah,
get the AWP immediately, dude. Why not?
Absolutely. let's see. What are Sharks going to bring to the table? They've got weapons, they've got utility. They have to give us something early on here. Can't afford to fall too far behind the pace of the game, as was the case early on Ancient. Chasing the game throughout. This is very fast right now from RDN, dropping off the roof. He does get the kill on Zevi, so at least they've dropped the AWP. There is a trade from Art, but there's a lot of space available to Sharks as a result.
I was going to have to get one more as well. How has he done that? I think he dropped into the vent to take that kill, I'm pretty certain. There we go, you can see it there. He's going to somehow still be alive. How is my guy still in the round? Eventually he'll go down, but it's taken so much effort to remove him. It's only Gafolo left, and they now know exactly where he is. There are two coming in towards single. There's a significant dink, and there is that second player to finish it off. AK should be herded up. There we go. Kai did get that second one. Pirio dropped it over to him. 3-0 start immediately, and Fluxo have just really put their best foot forward at the beginning of each map so far.
Yeah, very good job to also keep that round contained for Fluxo, because it could have gotten a little bit scary. I like the fact that Kai rotates down and towards Secret there, kind of ahead of the game. I thought for a moment that Fluxo were a bit slow to respond, but Kai gets in position. That kill on the drive-by there to get the trade on the vent play was really important, and then he even finishes off the round as well. First couple kills for Kai, certainly of value. AWP was recovered as well. And now Sharks will half invest into this round. Upgrade the pistols into Galil.
Oh, the nade is pretty meaty onto RDN. No armor, of course, contributing to that, doing a little bit more damage to him. And one of the things I think is really important to mention for Fluxo as well, just how decent their CT sides have been in general overall lately. I mean, on Nuke, as I say, all domestic opposition they probably should be beating, majority of it anyway, but got a very, very good win percentage on that CT side of the map. 63. One of the obviously
that's great.
Few CT side maps left in the pool, but even now you see a lot of T halves, right? The T side meta of the game.
What's their T-side win percentage? I'd imagine it's probably around like 55,
52.
actually. Okay, not bad. Good damage done there onto Milzen, who will actually go down. Art will step out and find two of his own. Where's that bomb right now? It's actually outside. Good frag found from Zevi. Art also not giving up the fight to Kens. Instead, he's going to wrap around the garage, reappear, re-emerge, and keep the strong start alive here for Fluxo as they go up 4-0, keeping numbers alive against the Eco as well. Bodes well for them economically. Like I said in the previous gun round, Sharks can't afford for this one to fall too far before they start to show us what they're capable of and get some rounds on the board. What have they got here in this gun round?
It'll catch up, of course, with what's going on elsewhere in the playoffs at the moment. Solid did take map 1 versus Swingers pretty comfortably, 13-7. Solid did win that game. They play the winner over this. Uara take map 1 versus Bounty Hunters. They're up 13-6. Taking that. And Game Hunters did take map 1 off of Red Canyons as well. Their struggles continue in the lower bracket, 13-8 for Game Hunters. So that's where we're at the moment.
Good to know. Of course, there's so much on the line for all of these teams right now, trying to get that spot at Pro League. Fluxo in pole position, but that's a good opening frag found for Kens. Art will inflict damage on the cross, but it's fatal damage coming through from Sharks right now. This is a whole lot better. Art gets one back, but gets traded straight out. Milzen's going to have to go searching. Doc is here, though, and he's ready for it.
Oh, baby. Zevi 1v4. He's saving. I'll behave myself.
Yeah, Zevi's behaving himself as well by saving, but hang on, maybe he's baited me a little bit here.
Like, he can play.
He's gone searching.
He can play exits if he wants to, because he's got 4,800 in the bank. Obviously, most teams would save this up properly, a bit more committed to that, rather than go aggressive looking for kills. But he finds his one, and he'll be happy with that. Like, yeah, okay, that's enough for me. Keep hold of it. They can buy properly, obviously, around him.
Good work though from Sharks. Actually, just they haven't like gone into a shell and played super conservatively, played fearful Counter-Strike coming into this round here. Had the fights outside with confidence, won them as well, and just straight up won the round off the back of it ultimately. And here's their opportunity now where they can kind of break this Fluxo economy and then start to build themselves into this game. When these two teams did play against each other on Nuke last, like you said, it was a great clean win there for Sharks 13-5. They started T-side on that occasion as well, and they went up 7-5, Trav. Yeah. So, going to be tough to try and match that this time round, but we are expecting a decent return for them.
Is their map with the most reps by far, 29. Last 3 months. Art is going to find RDN, but he's not going to get any more because Doc crept through. Thankfully for Fluxo's sake, Milzen did take Doc on that trade, as you say, to the corner of the smoke. Pyria, oh, we needed that one. That was the one to bring it back into a 2v2, but Kai can only get one more from Heaven, which means Sharks do take it. With Koala and Ken's alive. Koala with a triple kill, AWP recovered as well. That's a really nice one to take, now knowing that Fluxo will be on a half investment here.
I mean, that was fantastic shooting from Koala as well, it must be said. Getting that trade initially in towards Mini and then swinging out into the A-bomb site, finding 2 further frags to secure the round for his team. Very, very good work there from Koala. Activating at a timely moment. Art has gone for the hero M4. Now, the rest of the team are going to be saving. I guess that just means MP9 for him in the gun round that follows, which is not really a surprise. That's an Art classic. See what he can do with this hero rifle. Again, space being taken outside. Been a theme of these rounds here for Sharks.
Yep. You need to be careful in these sort of rounds. I do appreciate the choice to go outside like that, right? When you're probably expecting some sort of low investment round, try and play the long ranges. Of course, you could be worried about a scout at some point, but nothing doing so far. So he'll be stopped from making his way on toward T-Roof. RDN finding Kai is an important one as well. Imperial's managed to creep his way up as well, and I don't think they actually know that there are going to be 2 players T-Roof off the back of that. That's actually pretty interesting.
Look at Koala, man. He's in T-spawn right now. Fluxo are trying to hunt for him. He's just not offering up anything. He might... Oh, I think he's been spotted now. Yeah, there we go.
That's a free gun.
There's an AK.
And they'll just run towards
the upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But will they be allowed to cross? Evidently not. I mean, could still go back and try and pick that gun up. Yeah, he's here as well. But well worked from Shark still. Never really had any risk of actually losing the round. Especially with how much attention Koala takes.
When does Milzen choose to pull the trigger on the push to pick up the gun? I think now is the moment. There we go. It was herded back into a T-spawn a little bit more by Pyria to try and make it as safe as possible for Milzen, as you can see, but and he just gets into the cubby off the back of it. Half hunted there. But all that Sharks care about is winning the round cleanly with a good number of players alive. And that's what they've done. Starting to build up a bank for themselves, and probably the first time in the entire BO3 so far.
Yeah, true. And a little bit of momentum as well. Some wind in their sails. A bit of a spring in their step, no doubt, now that they've won 3 consecutive rounds and have proven that Fluxo are mortal, that they are beatable, and that they can make this competitive. Looking to level up the scoreline. If they can make that happen, then, well, the lead is right there for the taking. Considering that Fluxo would have to save their money. So what's the change up from Fluxo going to be here? It looks like they're trying to take a fight outside. Milzen has been spotted though. He's actually quite lucky to still be alive, and he will be able to fall back with his life intact.
Kai wants to go looking for a little bit more around ramp, because he's got Zevi right next to him. Or the boost should come through. Zevi's going to have to be very ready for this one. Could be a leg shot only. Actually, doesn't even hit a leg shot himself. It's going to have to be Kai. He only gets a 1-for-1. That's okay. Does allow Zevi to fall back a little bit more and keep himself alive. And off the back of that, Milton's pushed all the way through lobby. They didn't have anyone watching that. That's so unusual, it feels like. He's completely overtaken it. Kenz is completely stuck between a rock and a hard place. And with the hard place to take him down, Zevi will remove him even on low HP. How on earth have Fluxo got away with a 4v2 from that?
I mean, Sharks were just really hoping that they would have been able to make their way through Trophy Room into ramp there, because then they could connect the dots and join up with Doc and RDN here in secret. But now, these two players may have to just save their guns. I don't know how they could move from here and actually get the bomb and then get back onto a site with 33 seconds on the clock. I think this round is done and dusted. Nice push there from Milzen. Really good work there to get himself into lobby and crunch on those players who are trying to aggress ramp. Zevi also staying alive was really important to keep them at bay. And Fluxo get back to winning ways.
Yeah, it's funny, right? When I saw the boost coming in from Sharks and toward lobby and Trophy Room, I thought Zevi's going to struggle to hit this shot. Maybe only will get a leg. And in the end, it was him that got legged or tagged through the corner of the wall. But still managed to survive and get one more kill and confirm the round. Fluxo gauging the gaps there toward lobby to crunch.
Okay, well, Sharks look alive and well here on Nuke, but if they lose this round, then starts to paint a bit more of a bleak picture. They've looked their best when they've had emphasis towards outside.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of an important round for Fluxo to take there, just knowing what's gone before, of course. I know it was a month ago. Things have changed for Sharks since then. But the core will remember what worked against Fluxo last time around. A month isn't a eternity in esports. For some reason, 6 months does feel like an eternity, though.
Yeah, true. Completely different life altogether. Things move so fast, especially at this level of the game.
Yeah, moves happening
Sharks,
all the
looks
time.
like they're going to be moving fast here in this round, mate, because they're setting themselves up for a big burst into the safe bomb site. Perry on the front lines. Oh, you need more from him than that. Kenz has doubled down on the entries as well. The stand-in does a brilliant job in devastating the defense.
Yeah, the HE doesn't do anything there from Zevi either. Didn't right-click it deep enough. Not that it would have done much damage anyway. Kenz wasn't close enough, and here's double entries, and get Sharks up to 4 here. They are showing a good face on Nuke, as I thought they might. I still favour Fluxo to win the game, but Sharks are not going quietly. This is a good T-half so far, and Kenz is having his best performances of the day so far. Managing to grab that second kill was unlikely, but I think even if he does just get traded there, I still favour Sharks to win the round, because they'll have multiple players to get that player removed from behind the site, and then after that, the rotations are a bit too far away, it felt like.
Yeah, Perry has been a little bit underwhelming so far here on Nuke. You know, you think about that one round where he was on Hut and Koala comes out a squeaky. If Perry wins that fight, then Fluxo probably still in the round. Here, he's on the off angle, out in the open in Hut. They run in his direction. He can't get a single kill. Normally, you back Perry to get that frag. So Sharks have made this one competitive, and it's not like the rounds that they're winning are being gifted to them either. They're taking these rounds.
But also, Matt, I have some bad and good news. Actually, you know what? I'll get back to it in a second. We have a faster play for all day here. Smokes are up. And looks like they want to go pretty aggressive once again. Zevi's done really well to find an opening, but Art surely gets traded. Does good damage, though, on the second player. Helps out Milton to get that kill for free. And that A crunch, that A take gets put down.
I don't really mind it. You can't really fault it. They've thrown the same opening utility towards outside to try and feign as though that's the direction they're going to head. They've tried something different there to break the game wide open. It's cost them, but like I said, I don't mind that little bit of a shift in pace there from Sharks.
Yeah, you can't really blame them for trying something like that, right? Just they were just very ready for it. So, one thing I wanted to say quickly is that Sharks, if they do take this to map 3, there's a chance we could have a small delay. because Counter-Strike and Mr. Valve have just dropped an update. So,
Oh, okay, great. Love that.
yeah.
Well, we got nowhere to be, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, they just released new maps. Just a couple of new wingman maps. The maps that won the contest on Face It, I believe. The map core contest. And they've added missions as well. To get like certain amount of round wins on certain maps. Stuff like that.
Well, as long as it doesn't break my game, then I'm all good.
Yeah.
I can check it out tomorrow, Trav. It's something that we can use all the time that we have tomorrow. It's not like we have much going on tomorrow.
No,
so
no.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've got a whole 2 hours of free time. Doc will push forward into our secret.
Yeah.
Bit of a duel coming through here, but Art's got a really good off angle. And if Doc swung that wide, maybe he would have had a chance. We kind of just shifted into the angle, I'm afraid. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a free early 5v3 for Fluxo here.
And Sharks don't have much money either. So if they lose here, then 8-4's right there. It looks like they may just be accepting their fate and calling it a day. And that's just kind of weak. Like, that's a bit limp, I'm afraid, because what's really happened in this round? They lost one player trying to cross outside. They lost one guy in secret. That's it. Round over. That's all it took here for Fluxo to win the round. Not nearly as much impetus as I would have expected or I would have liked here from Sharks. Not really a response lined up. No protocol. Okay, that's happened. Let's do this. We know Art is the garage player. Let's try wrap around outside into heaven or hell.
Counter-terrorists win.
7-4. Certainly been a good contest in this half so far. So Fluxo have done well to get themselves a lead.
Yeah, I think Sharks as well have had a run in the regular season that I've mentioned quite a lot that was very impressive. One of the reasons why we thought they could do pretty well, right? They've beaten a couple of teams which maybe you could argue they should be beating really comfortably. I do think it's, if you look at it on paper, as I said, it looks impressive. You got to dig a little bit deeper on some of those and see the teams they have beaten. They were lucky enough to get, I think, a forfeit back and forth between Red Cannons and them in one of the games about a month ago. They shared maps with Fluxo, which is the ones I was talking about, of course. Train and Nuke was the back-to-back BO1 in the regular season. Fluxo won Train. Sharks won Nuke. So yeah, I think it looked good, but as you rightly mentioned to me, Matt, I think the changes have made things feel a little bit more uncomfortable for them. And sure, LAN results that we've touched on, the one in the subway station in Argentina, and of course in Fragadelphia, made the final in Fragadelphia, but you'd expect them to. They got destroyed by NRP in the final. Didn't get double digits on any map they played in that BO5, so it's always awkward for them, and this is awkward as well because Middleton's gone straight in to get that duel toward Koala. There's more damage coming in from Art toward Door, and Kai is waiting for the ramp push. Gets a quick one for one. It's very speedy. It leaves Doc trying to escape toward ramp and try and get the bomb down on B, but he's not allowed to as he goes peeking into Zevi. It's more great work from Fluxo. It's 8 at half. Some great CT work from Fluxo, but last time, of course, these two teams played each other on this map. Sharks are a very, very solid CT side. So can they shop once again and make something happen in this series? Already Fluxo very quickly bouncing their way down the vent with Zevi. The bomb is on his back, but he doesn't want to cross just yet because there is a player on ramp looking to try and stop him.
Yeah, he doesn't overcommit. He waits for his teammate to make sure that they can work together to get into the bomb site. And that will net them a plant at the bare minimum. Thankfully for Sharks, they have been able to get a kill before they have to start to make this retake work. There's no kit though, and there's no utility. So that could be a problem.
Makes it so winnable for Fluxo, it feels right. And Kai's hearing all these rotations. He can flank here and get maybe a couple of free kills. Oh, pulls the trigger a little bit too soon, but makes up for it.
There we go.
Oh, 2 clicks, 2 kills, even though he kind of revealed his position. Fluxo with the pistol, 9-4. I'm not sure if Sharks will be force buying in this one because of the what the sort of quality of that force buy and knowing that they can't get the rifles immediately after, but we've already got the scout out in the 5-7s. I understand why you are 9-4 behind, but if you lose this one, 10-4, then 11-4.
And surely that's just an unassailable lead here for Fluxo. I don't see how Sharks could recover that. Was it not like 5-4 at one point, I think? Was looking pretty competitive at one stage in the first half, especially with the way that Sharks were winning the rounds. Wasn't just off the back of Fluxo making mistakes. Peria was quiet by his standards on that previous half, and it's not like he wasn't required in some of the rounds. I will say he was a little bit underwhelming in some of the rounds Sharks had won. The rounds Fluxo lost, I think Peria could have done a bit more, but anyway, that is just me holding him to a very high standard because of what I've seen from him in recent times. I think that he could be one of the next really big names we see coming out of Brazil in the like 3 to 5 years to come kind of thing.
Completely agree, yeah. Go down here, but no, there's look at that little bit of protocol work there from Fluxo, right? Like, they didn't need to flash into heaven. They could probably have traded it or entered it straight up, but that just guarantees it. It's just a great flash into that position. And it's a small detail, but it's those sort of small details that can be really helpful. It didn't even really blind him up perfectly, but I think it like only half blinded him. Either way, they still tried to use it right, and it helped a little bit. And I think that's what makes these sort of things sets apart the teams in South America like Fluxo from like your Team Solids and your Sharks and stuff like that, right? That teams that are really putting that extra mile in. That's why they made the major.
Yeah, absolutely, Trav. And they've gone very deep with the construction of this team and the way they've decided to build their systems and their protocols. They've taken their time. And as a result, they're super robust. Like you said, they're not leaving anything to chance. Even when they're in complete control, even when they have advantages in these rounds and they're dominating the game, they still have their principles. Oh, Koala, he's like, why the hell are you breaking the smoke open with the nade? Although maybe he's not asking that question. He's picked up an AK. Oh, that got scary maybe for half a second, but it's all good. Fluxo up 11-4, 2 rounds away from that spot in the upper bracket final.
Yeah, you have to favour them against whoever they play as well. Sharks are probably going to be in a tough lower bracket run. At the moment, Solid are 4-1 up on Swingers in the other upper semi-final. So you'd think it would be Team Solid. That would be a match between first and third from the regular season. This, of course, is a match between second and third. But right now, Fluxo are showing that there could be a bigger gulf between the two at the moment.
Yeah, it does look that way. Ardi and Zawa, a player I really enjoy watching, just hasn't really pitched up today. 3-11 here on Nuke. Just not going to cut it. Doc is also an explosive rifler. But Flux have just outclassed them. And it's not just on an individual level like you highlight as well. It's as a team.
Again, opening pick for Kai. As long as Fluxo don't just walk in and wander around the map one by one here and like give Gafolo picks and stuff like that, it should be all right. Right now, just waiting. They've got plenty of time left in the round just to see if Sharks go searching somewhere, right? They kind of might need information in this scenario. Don't know what Fluxo are planning. Does a player go aggressive to try and look for something? That's exactly what's going on. Gavolo's going to move further in toward ramp, and it's going to be a really hard angle for Gavolo to clear. Kai, are you ready? He is. Gavolo is not, I'm afraid.
Wasn't the cleanest.
It wasn't the cleanest, and to
Wasn't
be fair,
the cleanest, yeah.
Gavolo did give it a glance as well.
Yeah, so I thought he might actually be able to get the kill. Doc has gotten a kill, but he needed more. He needed a multi.
Oh.
Still a player on the bomb site, but not for much longer. Milzen sweeping his angles as he makes his way forward. Takes down Kens, and well, Koala doesn't have a hope in hell. 12-4 right there for the taking. And Sharks have faltered, I'm afraid. Like I said, there was a moment on this map here, Trav, where it looked like we could have a competitive affair between these two teams. It was actually 5-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since then, Fluxo have won 7 in a row.
Yeah, I had a feeling about Sharks' CT side, but, you know, it's 1 BL1 from the regular season when they had a different lineup. This is a different lineup now. And one that doesn't look as strong, plainly talking. What an absolute
Yeah, I did actually
masterclass.
make that bold prediction after watching Sharks for the first time in the regular season. I actually went and tweeted that I think Sharks are going to go on to win ECL Season 49. And obviously, after seeing this performance, I'm not nearly as inspired. But they did do very well in the regular season, to be fair. They placed second, so
Yeah.
it was a super good showing from them. But you just got to bring into question the timing of the roster change that they've made, replacing Nix just before this playoff run. Could they not have waited a couple days? Was it really that necessary? Has it hindered their chances? It looks like it. I mean, they've won 7 rounds across 2 maps so far against Fluxo.
I'm just going to keep an eye on Zevi right now, because first map, he went 19-6, by the way, on Ancient. 1.96 rating, 105 ADR. He's currently 16-4. This might be one of his best rated BO3s ever, like, in his career.
Yeah, he's having a field day. He is having a fantastic time of it here in this series so far, which could be drawing to an end here and now. Fluxo with 8 opportunities to finish off the job here and win the series 2-0. Koala outside is actually taking the fight to Fluxo, flexing his muscles. Good multi-kill.
Art creeping forward. Does he check CT vent? He does. Does take a little bit of damage to Pyria in the meantime, but it doesn't matter. It's a clean entry for Art, and they can just force their way in now. This is feeling very, very difficult for Sharks. And Art, finding Kens, has put the nail in the coffin, I'm afraid. Sharks will be sent down to the lower bracket. It's another headshot for Art. Triple kill for him. Zevi finishes 16-5, which, if my maths is correct, puts him on 35-11 for 2 maps. That is pretty dirty.
Yeah, that is a fantastic performance from Zevi. I mean, that first map was just him completely tearing